Environmental Advisory Council. I'm Daniel Burnham, and Lisa Hollowell is here, and Emma Torres. So because we're underrepresented, not surprisingly in the middle of the summer, I think we're going to have to punt a lot of the agenda items to the next meeting or even after that. Oh, okay. I'm not talking into it again. It's my low voice. There is one comment on the minutes from the May 15th meeting that I heard, and it's very minor. There was a carriage return in the link to the Retriever website. That is the local organization that recycles clothing and electronics. So Melissa is going to revise the minutes so there's no carriage return in the middle of that link. So it will get you to that location. Let's see, there should be a point for public comment, yeah, on my minutes. So am I hearing from those present approval of the minutes?
I don't know if we can approve the minutes without a quorum.
Right,
but
at least from
they
surprises.
looked good to me. I see you made the spelling change that I asked for. So other than that, they look good to me. But I think we might have to wait and approve them next time we have a quorum.
Right. Okay, public comment. Anybody wish to speak?
I thought it was going to be at the end of the meeting. Sarah Pilling, 29 Garrett Avenue. I have a bug in my ear about recycling. There's a discrepancy between what Radnor puts out that can be recycled and what Republic says can be recycled. Mm-hmm. I know the level of contamination is high. I know the market is dead. But something I would like the EAC to consider is to investigate the details about the traveling glass recycling bins. It's currently at the Haverford Township building. Easy access. I have to drive from Radnor to Havertown, but that's no big deal, for any kind of glass bottles. And rather than put my glass bottles, because I try to drink out of glass rather than plastic to reduce the plastic, I mean, it gets complicated. I am currently taking my glass bottles to Havertown. You just drop them in. And I would like the EAC to see what they could find out from any member of the Havertown EAC. I would do it, but you guys have clout, and I'm just a resident. And wondering if it isn't something that what it costs, what the arrangements are to come to Radnor. And then there's the big question, would anybody bring their bottles to the recycling rather than just dumping it in the cans? Where at least in my neighborhood, there are more plastic bags than you can shake a stick at.
Yeah.
So
I have a question. Have you been told that the glass in particular hasn't been recycled that we put at the curb here? Or is that something we need to look into as well?
It's usually smashed and goes to top layers of the landfill, which I'm opposed to. So these bottles can be melted down and the components used again. And I know there's a recycling program in Philly, a nonprofit, and I forget right now, I can't think of the name of it, where actually artists are using, it's mostly wine bottles, and they're using it for their art. Mm-hmm. But this is purely to melt down and remanufacture glass. Okay. And I think it's a very interesting concept. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll be in touch with Havertown EAC, Sarah.
Can I ask you, Sarah, where is it in Havertown?
At the Township building.
At the Township building? In the back, or I guess, or whatever on?
In the front. You just drive in, get out of the car, put your bottles in, and drive out.
And it's for anybody, or,
Well, I'm sure it's more for Haverford Township people.
when I lived there, that would have been the
They're
thing
not
about them.
gonna say no.
Sorry? They're not,
They're not going to say, no, you can't.
We've,
Did you say Havertown or Haverford?
It's Haverford Township,
Haverford, okay,
which is in Havertown, and it's at the Township building.
okay.
on
Yep.
Darby Road? It's on Darby, I think, right?
Well, you go down Darby
It's
to
the
the
Haverford
Wawa,
Yeah.
EAC.
which is
Yeah.
a traffic light, you take a right, half a block down is the newish Township
Oh,
building.
okay.
And it goes from Township to Township.
Oh, the recycling bin goes from
Yes,
township to
that's
township.
why I went.
I was going to ask you why it's called traveling. First I thought you meant you were traveling, but okay. It itself is traveling.
Yes.
Oh,
Huh.
okay.
so we have discussed in the past that we should have one of our upcoming lectures feature someone who can educate the residents of our township on what to recycle, how to recycle, what not to recycle. I know people are still putting their recyclables in plastic bags, which is a big no-no, which I know many of us know not to do, but it seems many of us do not know that. That's just an example of some of the things. So I don't know who the right person would be, but I think that would be a great idea. And maybe as part of that, we can look a little bit deeper into why our recycling is not being recycled. Because I think all of us put our recyclables out with the best of intentions and assume that, especially the glass, I understand that plastics are tricky, right? But glass and aluminum should be pretty easy to recycle. And so that's disappointing if it's not. So I'd like to look a little bit more into that as well, so that we can fix that maybe even without the traveling glass, although that's a good option if that's the best option.
Have
I
we
don't know.
ever, I used to live in Havertown, and we had separate bins for, when you put it out, you had to put paper in one thing, glass in another. Did we ever do that, or no?
We used to do it in Radnor, but yes, we've gone to commingle for, 15 years?
And is
20.
that effective?
It's more work at the waste management facility, because they have to sometimes hand sort and rely on machines if they have them.
But Dan, it also meant that people had to bring their recycling. It was here at the old township building. So the resident had to take the responsibility.
Yes. Yeah.
Far too much of this trash recycling, that's particularly if it's in bags, Republic won't touch it because they don't know what's in the bag, is going to the trash to steam plant in Chester and being burned. And then we have all the attendant issues of the smoke and the pollution and everything
Right. Okay,
from the,
so-
so it's environmental race. It's a very broad brush thing, and it somehow, and it's a tough uphill battle, chip away at it. So I thought, gee, glass recycling, particularly as the bin comes to your township. Now, I don't know
No,
how
that's
you
a
make
great
the
idea.
arrangements, but
Yeah.
it's not very hard. Now, I do know of groups in Radnor, I don't know whether you know it, the Browning Lane Group in Rosemont have a partnership with Acme and with a moving company and with one other commercial entity plus their neighborhood. And they have recycled, they gather it, they have the box on someone's porch, and they're building benches by what they're gathering, benches for their neighborhood. So
Right.
that's a local initiative.
Okay, following on from Lisa's point about reminding us how to recycle, what to recycle, and also, where does it go? Republic, I was thinking contact Republic. It's years ago, we had a presentation, well, it was online, by Republic that
Remember
instructed
that.
local municipalities how to recycle, and I think we could ask again, because that's who we contract with. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Kathy, is Republic Services.
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah, those blue trucks.
But I would also consider including the Havertown or Haverford EAC.
Yes,
Because
about the glass.
there are a number of women who live there who have garages and incidental help, who are offering to take X, Y, and Z, and they're disposing of it. There's a community component in the Haverford Township area that's quite extraordinary.
So they're actually doing a multi-stream.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
the styrofoam. They're taking the styrofoam. They found a place to take it. So they gather it, and then when they have enough, they fill up their car or cars, and they take it to the recycling. So there's another
Wow.
whole
It can be recycled.
motivation to this, to take responsibility for gathering what is trash.
Wow, okay.
That's excellent. I think maybe step one would be to reach out to Ricky Foster, who's the head of Public Works, and see who
Right.
the contact is at Republic.
Yep.
I'm willing to reach
Okay.
out to him via email. I'll copy you.
Thank you, Lisa.
And see, who the contact person is so we can ask these questions. Because, if we're paying for all of our recycling to be recycled and it's not being recycled, we need to know that so that we can correct that, but also so that we're not, paying for a service that we're not getting.
Well, about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, Lisa, I filed a right to know for the trash and the recycling. And the township was spending over $100,000 each year extra
Right,
for the trash and the recycling.
right.
And as a taxpayer, an older taxpayer on a fixed income, I say, let's fix some of that.
Yeah,
When you say extra, Sarah, do you mean
It was over budget
over budget?
by over 100,000, and that was during the pandemic when I was at home, so I could file right to knows.
well, yeah,
And the county puts a surcharge now on
Right.
every ton of trash.
right.
So trash was Wednesday in Garrett Hill, when I saw a house that had 10 black bags worth of trash. I thought to myself, Lower Merion has a different system for the trash. You're allowed 2 trash cans of a certain size, and you pay for the overage.
Thank you, Sarah.
We could talk about this for hours.
Yeah. Any other public comments? Okay. Kind of on this note, there is Plastics Free July, which many people are aware of. It's basically behavior modification. So trying to reduce single-use plastics in our lives. As this council did about a year and a half ago, we effectively got the phase out of single-use plastic bags in the grocery stores and other stores. But there's other ways you can reduce use of single-use plastics, particularly avoiding prepackaged food, produce and meats. It would mean going to the butcher directly or to a farmer's market is one thing. So plasticfreejuly.org, one word. You can get more information on it. Ongoing business. Municipal energy conservation and electrification. So there's 3 projects underway in the township in this category. The first is setting up electric vehicles charging stations, which has been part of the transition to electric municipal vehicles. As many know, we already have two electric pickup trucks, Ford F-150 Lightnings in the police department. And to be operational, they need a on-site charging station. And the project has been awarded to have them installed. We're still waiting for a notice to proceed. In addition, Practical Energy Solutions, about 6 months, 5-6 months ago, performed an energy audit on this building and the Department of Public Works building and the Sulpizio Gym to see how energy could be conserved in the HVAC system and lighting, and also how renewable energy sources could be installed, particularly solar panels on these buildings. And the township has reviewed a draft proposal from Practical Energy to design specific upgrades for these buildings. And we're waiting for comments back from the consultant right now. In this connection, there is a Pennsylvania Department of Energy Environmental Protection MORE grant that is available to Pennsylvania municipalities who are wanting to upgrade the energy systems in their municipal buildings. And I'm curious whether we are eligible to apply for this grant. The deadline for an application is October 25th. Kathy, do you know anything?
I do not, but I will find out.
Okay, thank you. And the third project in the township, which is quite exciting, is we're getting our street lights, which are replaced with high-efficiency LED light bulbs. And the contractor, Amor and Sons Electric, has completed 57% of the project, installing 434 out of 764 fixtures. And the contractor is ahead of schedule and is working on the next shipment of Cobra head lights. If you look on a street light, some of them do look like a cobra. We need new Cobra heads, and when they are received, the project will be completed, hopefully in a couple of weeks. So that's it for municipal energy conservation and electrification. Mulchless native perennial plantings that was initiated by Sven Leflifs. And any update from you, Lisa, on that?
I don't have any updates. Sven said he was traveling today and he would try to catch the end of this meeting in person, so I don't know if he will be here or not, but I don't have any, I have no updates.
Okay.
So.
Well, we're certainly in touch with Chanticleer as well, having a shared interest in the beautification of our township with native plantings, both plants and trees. I know Jane visited Chanticleer with Sven about a month ago, so we'll hear from them next time. Public education. The EAC lecture series has continued with presentations on solar panel installation in your home and also low waste living. And both of these presentations are now in our EAC lecture series website, on the township website. Uh, And we are very interested in other presentations that people are interested in, one of which is on microplastics, which unfortunately, because plastics being disposed of in the ground and being burned, the particles of plastic is entering our food chain and into our bodies as well. So there is a presentation by Mike Wheelbacher, a environmental educator who is thought of highly by Shift, the organization that helped present the low waste living presentation. So he is asking for a $300 honorarium, which is about a little more than what we've paid in the past. From his endorsement by Shift, I would be in favor of it. I just wonder from you, Lisa.
That is more than we normally pay, but I don't think that's unreasonable, and I think we have room in our
Yeah.
budget for that. But
We do.
again, if that's something that needs a vote, we can't vote on that without a
Right,
quorum.
right. We can't.
But
no.
I think that, you know, I would vote yes if we were voting.
Great.
Can I ask a question? I have two questions. When would that be?
When we would not resume the lecture series until the fall.
Great. And I was asked, and I should have, well, the response is, about whether or not, I think it was Danelle who said that she would make,
Yes, Donnell is going to contact Mike, and she has already.
that's not my question, that's not my issue. That Donnell said she would make things for, graphics for the township social
Well,
media?
Yes, that's under, the next item. Yes, she was curious whether your conversation with the information office
Yes,
would
she's
support it.
happy to do it. So just
Okay,
send it
great.
and- Okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, we need, as a team, we need to discuss our website and how we get the word out to the public and do this, I think, better than we have been doing. There is long-term consideration of Bilal Motley's trash and burn film about the Covanta incinerator. This film, for one thing, this film has been shown in our township at Villanova on April 24th and June 10th of this year. It was also shown in Swarthmore April 12th. So there's not an urgency to, I think from my perspective, to show it again, but I think it is something we'd like to do in the during the winter or fall, the winter or spring. There is also concern that, Kathy, you expressed about bringing the county in on this, because
We have
there
a
is the...
contract with regard to it, so I don't know
Right.
what issues may or may not be,
Right,
if the township sponsored it, to be a breach of the contract. So I don't think at the moment that it would be something shown at the township building at the moment, but we can discuss that. Oh, I'm sorry? Oh, I do. But I also have my relaxation on, so. I don't, because of the contract with Covanta and the county.
right.
I don't know that's something we could show at the township building. I don't know the terms of the contract. I don't know what issues would arise. But I
Right.
just want to give you that heads up that that may be an issue.
Yes,
And this is probably something to be discussed with Bill White and John Rice,
okay,
okay?
all right. Bill White and Don...
John Rice is the town solicitor.
John Rice, okay, yep. All right. other presentations that Mike Wheelbacher had in mind is kind of a charming one. It's an upper. It's called Wild Philly, the Extraordinary Nature of Our Backyard. So it talks about the flora and fauna that we often don't see in our environment around here. We all have some fox stories and bat stories, but he can add to that with this presentation. So that's another thing we could contact Mike about for next fall or winter. Let's see, I was going to talk about the EAC lecture series postings. I know Eugenia has worked hard to get the solar panel and low waste living presentations on our website, and they are there now, along with composting and another presentation that was given in the past. Also, my piece on gas leaf blowers was a short piece that was to be put into the Radnor magazine that's going to be issued, I guess, this fall. That made the deadline. So that's good. English ivy is something I think many in the township are aware of, but don't know what to do with. They grow on trees, they grow on the ground, and they're very invasive, and they're not endemic to our country. And would Diana Pope, would you like to just briefly say what you've done in this regard in terms of educating folks about English ivy?
Hi, Diana Pope, 116 Windermere Avenue here in Wayne. So I am personally disturbed whenever I see trees being strangled by English ivy, because in some cases it actually can really kill trees, in part by blocking sunlight and also becoming so cumbersome that if a storm comes with big winds, it puts the tree at risk of literally being knocked down. So anyway, what I did, I went to the sustainability conference, the third one for the county, and it was there that I talked with someone at the Penn State Extension Service and asked for their advice. So they very kindly followed up with some resources which I have on this little trifold that I made. And so I extrapolated from the information I got from these three sites and made an informative trifold. I don't know what more to say about it. So as we're eager to get as many suggestions as possible of places this can be placed to reach as many people as possible, because it affects many, many homeowners. It actually affects the township as well. There are trees on township land that have English ivy on them. And so I would highly recommend that as an example, the township actually demonstrate how easy it is in mechanical ways to literally cut the vines at a comfortable level and then down below, and they will die, and eventually, can take a while, they'll just slough off and fall off the tree.
Yeah,
Anything else you'd like me to say?
It's important not to tear it off the tree because it damages the bark.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
And some people are going to have a very hard time with that, I imagine. But in time, it will, in fact, slough off on its own. Anything else you'd like me to say about it?
No, just that you're preparing a hard copy trifold about ridding trees of ivy. And we're going to have that at our at the Wayne Business Association Fall Festival at our table.
Well,
Yeah.
So-
So we're going to have this trifold at the Fall Festival, and
So this is worth discussing, because this came from my home printer, and I'm not going to print hundreds of them on my home printer.
No.
So we need some level of a budget
yep,
to actually get them printed, but
Do you have a, is
we
this,
have to figure out how many.
is this a PDF or a JPEG or something, or?
It's just a Word document, but it can be a PDF
Yeah.
easily enough. I'm going, Dan has encouraged me to take credit for it. And we also need to get the EAC.
Say the Pope says,
Yeah,
get
yeah,
rid of your English Ivy.
the EAC also needs credit for it, because obviously it is my inspiration of being here that made me realize this is possible, and I got encouragement from the council. So that will be added to it. It's not totally ready for prime time.
yeah.
So my edit that I would make, I see that you did take care to caution that herbicides should only be used as a last resort, and there's some instructions on how to do it safely, but my preference would be to kind of remove that altogether and really just push the mechanical controls.
Believe me, I know exactly what you say, and I have talked about it also with the people at the Extension Service. And I know that some people are going to use the herbicides anyway, and so I'd rather have some information, and this is about as conservative as it could be, where you literally get it on a glove and touch the end.
Yeah.
Every single arborist, all of these folks use herbicides as a possibility if you can't control it otherwise. And so I'm not representing them accurately if I just blow that off, basically. And it's on all three of these websites. You're welcome to look at those links. I can send you, actually, I think you might have, Dan has anyway, the Word document so you could just
Right.
go to the links and look at those resources. So
Okay, I'll distribute
I
my
I
draft.
really hear what you're saying. I'm really still somewhat ambivalent, but I don't know that there's quite a way out of it.
Diana,
Yeah.
if you could forward me your version with your credit
Yes,
in
of
it,
course.
and then I'll put it on the Google shared drive,
Okay.
so folks can look at it.
And on the agenda, the next thing on there is also English Ivy with a question mark. And so I'm simply waiting to see a sample, because you had asked if I would write something comparable for this Radnor, whatever it's called.
The Fall Festival?
No, the Radnor magazine.
Oh, the Red and Rags, yeah.
Do you still want me to do that? Or
Yeah.
are you doing the leaf blowers instead?
Well, leaf blowers, I understand, are going to make the fall issue. If that's all the space we're allowed, so be it. But I wouldn't hold back from creating a condensed version of this pamphlet, just so you're ready to go.
Okay, okay,
Thank you so much.
sure. Thank you.
Okay. Eco-friendly yard signs. This is a program that I understand Margie Reinhardt started, and her daughter designed the signs a few years back, and it's become very popular with the township. Jane and I put out 4 signs this past month, and to 4 deserving residences. The Great American Backyard Campout, which Radnor participated in at the Willows on June 1st, according to Ray, was a great success. He isn't here to elaborate, but it's likely that we will hold such an event again next year. Yeah.
The Delco clearinghouse.
Oh, okay. You're so modest. You want to talk about it yourself. Yeah, oh, come on up, Diana.
It came right after English Ivy.
Yeah, I was going to have you under public
And
comment.
I didn't realize it either, So I am here, I'm a brand-new member of the Environmental Committee of the League of Women Voters in Delaware County that have put together this wonderful resource that they call the Delco Environmental Clearinghouse. And Roberta Winters put together this brief slideshow, and is not able to attend, so I'm just showing it on her behalf. And no one else can see it.
Ian, are you able to? Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
It's a matter of getting the screen. Oops, it's automated.
Do you mind if I take a look?
You have to connect it to Wi-Fi or something? to get
We'll
it
just do
to-
the HDMI. And then
Oh, I see,
I just need to
with
bring
the
it up on
cable.
my end.
Yeah, perfect, okay. Is that paper in your way?
Just 1 second, I'll bring it up on the screen.
Thank you. So I think everyone in the room also has just a little card that also has the links and a little bit of information that we're also trying to spread so people are aware this exists. And this did come with grant money. You're on that group too, right? Who provided the grant? Was it the county? Ah, okay, the League of Women Voters of Pennsylvania. Okay, we're the funders. Thank you.
Yeah, the link to this clearinghouse is already in the EAC website, but it's kind of buried. And I want to, as part of the revision of our website, I'd like to make that link more prominent and with a very brief description of what it offers.
Yeah, that is the one on that side, for sure. It's the only one it would fit in. There we go. Perfect. Okay,
See if it
that's it.
switches to full screen.
Yeah, there we go. Except that's not the full screen.
If you want to switch back to the...
Should just be this. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
I think
Thank
it
you.
was automated, but you could just...
That's all right. Yes, it was, but that's all right. So, just so you have a moment to look at it, this corresponds exactly with the little cards you have in terms of the little symbol for it. So this is focused on Delaware County. However, it has a wider range as well. So it includes latest news, events, and most importantly, ways people can take action. Whoops. And it includes latest news. This is dated, it goes back to May, but they keep this up to date. So right now there are things that are very relevant and coming up in the next week or two, and upcoming events with a variety of organizations that regularly provide some very valuable information. I've been taking advantage of it. And then actual things citizens can do, including contacting legislators. There are a variety of resources that include articles, reports, websites, and laws. So it's a fabulous reference.
Yes, this is an excellent website, webpage.
And there are many categories. There's actually one I would like to add, which we haven't talked about yet, which has to do with fashion. how fashion actually produces an enormous amount of waste and carbon emissions as well. So this is on automatic, so it's flipping along, so I won't take too long. And so there are also lists of the various resources and organizations in alphabetical order and their contact information. And this comes from the sustainability plan for the county. So it's all fitting together in terms of how it should be. And this is demonstrating that it's not just our, local. It actually, the resources are altogether, at least up through the national level. It doesn't cover international. And just a reminder that the League of Women Voters is nonpartisan and encourages involvement with the government.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Unfortunately, the new business cannot be gone into in any great detail because of key members not being present. We do have 5 applicants for the EAC Student Ambassador position. Probably thanks to Emma as well for passing the word. And the interview process with Ray has started, and Donnell may help make the final decision with him. The gas leaf blower phase-out plan for the township. This is just at the beginning stages, and based on our own discussions and hearing what Swarthmore has recently gone through with getting pushback from a municipal ordinance phasing out gas leaf blowers, we are behooved to consult with the stakeholders ahead of any next steps. So we're going to be talking to the municipal departments, as well as I would like to talk to a sustainable landscapers companies that use electric lawn equipment to see if they are up to the task of doing a complete care of large acres of lawn that our gas machines do quite well. But also we would talk about who would be impacted, and that's largely the commercial gas landscaping companies who would have to consider electrification over a period of months, if not years. So that is something we are going to have to hold off on talking further. As I've said, the Wayne Business Association Fall Festival is now scheduled for September 15th, and we are going to have a table and canopy there, and we will have information for residences on all the topics that we've been talking about tonight. And for EAC members, as well as township residents, there is the regional EAC Fall Gathering, which is held every year. This year it's going to be the 5th of October at Temple University in Ambler. And this is a very important opportunity for residents and EAC members to talk across municipal boundaries about learnings and going forward together in education and putting forward various projects. And the last thing I have, which is not on the agenda, is the EPA Region 3 Waste Infrastructure Grant. This is about $150,000 that is awarded to, I guess we're in Region 3, municipalities for upgrading their yard waste collection to include food waste. So if this sounds familiar to those involved in our composting effort, this is of definite interest. And applications for this grant are due August 30th, so there isn't much time. And I've contacted Melissa. She actually contacted me about this grant opportunity, and it's up to the EAC, I think, to vote on this and decide whether we should go forward with this application. We don't have much time.
Yeah, we're going to need to have a quorum in our July meeting in order to even get
Yeah.
a vote in time for August 30th. I would very much be in support of that. Was that something that we would draft with Melissa?
Whatever gets the job done, I hope she would let us help her.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea. My guess is that we would support that because we've had lots of conversation now about a composting program for the township.
Right.
But the missing link has been the financial component, so this would be a really good way to bridge that gap and
Yes.
test out a food composting program.
And to be honest, this is my first time as chair. I'm not fully aware of who was working on the composting, the mother compost interface on the EAC. Do you know?
Donnell was the one who contacted Mother Compost, I think,
Okay.
To present for us.
Okay.
Sarah, do you have a comment?
The league and the Radnor High School Environmental Group and I were working on it.
Okay.
Okay.
And it wasn't through, it was for, we went to Linvilla and saw where Mother Compost works, where the Drexel Hill composting operation is, and figured out ways it could be done at Skunk Hollow.
Okay.
With really no problem at all. It was the collection of it.
Yep. Well, definitely need Donnell to be present to make a vote. Can we do this vote off meeting,
No,
Kathy? We have to be
we can't do any votes.
at
off
a
the
meeting. We cannot do it
No.
between
we've-
a meeting.
However, we
Only in
may,
public. Okay.
you know, Dan, we should discuss if folks are going to be traveling for the next meeting. I was going to say, maybe we can do the next meeting virtually so that more folks can attend, so that we have a quorum and we
Yep,
can
good
vote on
idea.
that.
Good idea.
If needed. I mean, if everyone's going to be here, that's a different story, but we should
I
ask.
doubt it.
Let me suggest you talk to John Rice, put it as a second thing to talk to John Rice about, because, for example, the commissioners cannot meet by Zoom now anymore.
Oh,
So I don't know if that was something that was made, it was doable because of the pandemic, and now it can't be done anymore.
I did
Okay.
not know that, so
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, we do
Sure.
need to find out.
whoa, okay. All right, well, that'll be prominently in the minutes. All right, any comments from the public to close? Okay, thank you for attending.
Wait, before you close, is this your last meeting with us, Emma?
It is my last meeting.
Oh, Emma, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
We heard-
joining us this year.
And you're an official college entrant.
Yes.
Yes,
I
you're
am.
no longer a high school college entrant, you're,
I know, yeah. But thank you guys so much for all this year. I feel like I've really learned a lot, and I truly feel like I've met so many wonderful people, and I can't wait to come back and kind of see all the EAC has done, even if I'm a across the country for a good part of the year. So thank you as well for
Well,
having me.
Good luck to you in getting the word out in your education institution about the environment.
Thank you.
Okay, this closes the meeting. Thank you.